Hey guys, my name is Deadenglish, and I'm going to be trying to do something new for you today. I figured I would use some of my art background and show you some things you could do with Photoshop. Going back to versions as early as Photoshop 6 or 7 is what I used in high school. Um, but just to show you, you don't need like Photoshop, the newest version, and you don't need filters or any of that. I don't like using filters. I think they're very much an excuse to get things done. So yeah, so I'm just going to show you, and I'm not going to be doing any fancy key commands. I'm just going to be using the Alt and Z button to undo my last action. So here's my setup, and I got the history going. These are the windows that I have open to the right, and they're my primary windows. I use history, I use layers, and I use the navigator just to get around a little bit easier. And let me make history a little bit bigger just so I could figure out what I need to do if I have to. And then, so I have a 15 or 10 by 15 with a 100 resolution here. And I'm going to just create a new layer and do that black. And then I have loaded up right next to it my portrait. It's not that great of a portrait, but just to show you what you could do, you could take the eraser tool and just go to like opticity of 11. 11 works. And let's get a little bit bigger of a brush here. And you just sort of create an oval. It's not the best looking oval, but it'll do. Then you map out where the eyes will go. That's a bit of a curved line. I'm not used to using a mouse. I'm used to using my trackpad. And my nose will go right about there. And my mouth will go right about there. And then, so yeah, so I do that, and then what I normally do is I just go in and take out the dark areas. You see that I'm leaving room for the eyebrows and all that. And I got my hair coming over here. And I got that. That's where my glasses would fit in, and then my nose goes like that. I probably should have brought up more contrast in the picture, but such is life, right? And then fucking mouth right there. So you see you got like a face forming pretty much. And if you're a little like self-conscious about what's going on, you could always drag this over. Uh, you could always transform. Let's just go to free transform. And then just scale it down. You could take that, just put it over, and just check yourself. See, it's lined up pretty much. So I'm going to take that off because I'm not going to use it really. And then I need the picture though. So there you go. There's that. And then where's my eraser? Go back to the eraser and just keep on doing what you're doing. You notice how I'm not like getting into a whole lot of detail here. I'm just trying to map out the dark areas. You only want to isolate the absolute black areas. It's kind of let's see, my little nostril there. What happened on the other side of those glasses? Okay. And then you could just sort of go in with this, your normal brush tool, get something around that size. I got the opticity kind of turned down, and we could just sort of go in and refine stuff from there. I want to sort of go in and work on this eye. So here we go. Let's let's get stuff worked out. And you could tell it's not making a huge difference, but that's what you want. You don't want super dark things. If anyone makes a portrait and they use black in it or like such harsh tones, it really takes me out of the portrait and what they've done. So yeah, so just take that out, just go in there, take that out, and it's no big deal because we could go over it with that, and you could tell close up, but far away you just see the eye shape. That's all you see. So that's why it's always important to just work in layers. And layers, I don't mean like having like 15 different layers open, which I do pop art and stuff like that with like 60 layers. But this is just building layers inside this one layer. You're just building on top of it because you got, I didn't mean for this to be overlay. Let's try normal. Yeah, you just got the small opacity or however you pronounce it, and you're just working from that. You're just building that up slowly but surely. It's a patience kind of game here. So we got the pupil. The pupil isn't solid black. It's got lots of little reflections in it. So I'm just clicking multiple times over the same area to get a little bit of dark over there. Then I'll take the eraser and go over here. There we go. And once we get these darks sort of laid out, we can then go in with our eraser and have that be kind of small, and then just sort of fill in the light areas. It's always going to look better when you bring the light out of the dark as opposed to bringing darks on top of light, because that's sort of how your mind sees images and how images really are. It's you don't, if you're in a dark room and you see a light shine on something, it's not the darks overlaying on top of the objects, it's the light shining on top of it. I don't know if I could explain it any better than that, and that's probably a shitty explanation, but yeah. And then we got this right here. Just a solid object right there. It's your brain is telling you what it is because you know it's the outside of an eye and the inside of glasses, but see, we zoom in and we work on it as just a random object and it comes out to look like a eye. So then we go back and we work on the top, and as you can see, I sort of mismeasured. My eyebrow is not way up there. It's actually, the glasses start right there. So to remedy that, just no mistakes here. You can always fix it. It's not a harsh line like if your opticity or opacity was like that. You can't fix something like that unless you undo it or just work hard with your eraser to fill back in. That's why it's always better to just go lighter and build up. So there we go. Let me move over with this because I want to be able to see what happens with that frame of my glasses. Let's see. Let's choose the 5. If you get below like a 5 really in your brush size, it's going to make it a little bit, I always find it a little bit more difficult to see in the long run. So just go with the 5. That'll be the smallest one we use, I guess. And there we go. And there's our glasses starting to take shape. And you'll notice that this part of the glasses isn't completely black, so we'll have to fix that. It's not that big of a deal. And our glasses go like that. So we're getting shit done here, guys. It's not hard. A lot of people think that art is fucking hard and difficult. It's always been super easy for me, but you just got to understand what you're doing. You're not drawing a face, you're making shapes that your brain will recognize as a face later on, you know? There we go. And then I'm going to just do that a little bit darker. And I want this to be a 5. I'm going to go in there and do my eye. Yeah, see, I'm just drawing a random line here that I see. Here we go. Where is my eraser? And as you can see, I'm kind of going over the work I did before. You can't get attached to your previous lines and all that, even though you think like you did them really well and that type of thing. If you did them once, you can do it again. So if something's out of place, best fix it before you get too far ahead, you know? You don't want to get so far ahead and realize that you screwed up, or you screwed up because you didn't go over the one area that you should have. There we go. And then this is sort of going like that. There we go. Let me get this. There we go. Oh, I almost missed part of it. There's always this little flap that's super shiny to me, and I never really you gotta make sure to get that just so you give this part something to rest against. Oops, didn't mean to do that. And over here, let's build that up. There we go. And let's zoom out and see how we're doing. Looks like an eye, guys, right? And we're not going to do just the eye section. Let's go to the nose. How about that? How about the nose? And I have one hell of a one, apparently. So let's see. This part of our eye comes down just a little bit past where the nostril is. So we're going to just define that nostril right there, and then this part comes out like that. I'm using the smaller brush just to sort of map it in. I'm going to go in with the bigger brush pretty soon, but proportion here. So I just want to sort of map in how everything is going to lay in the piece and on my face. There we go. Okay, now we can go in with a bigger brush and just lighten the whole thing up. Alright, guys? Remember, we're not attached to any of the shadows here, so we're just going to go in. And there are little bits of shadow there. They're very faint. You could tell this is a shadow even though it's pretty light. So we need that. We need that. Okay. What else we got here? We got this right by my mustache. Right by my mustache. And then let's take, I don't want that. I want the brush. We're going to go in with the brush and just sort of round that out. And of course, every nostril comes in sets, or a pair I should say. So we got the pair of nostrils right there. Let's go in with a 13, size 13 brush. There you go. And this. And see, we're just making random shapes here, but they will, trust me, they'll combine to make a fucking nose. You may not believe me now, but as long as you color the color that's there, or the shade that's there, look back, pull it back, and we got a nose forming, dude. How easy is that? How fucking easy is that to do? It's not hard at all, man. Not hard at all. People give me too much credit for being good at art. Anyone can be good at art. They just gotta figure out ways to look at it. Okay. And let's go back in with our small brush. Let's do a 9. This one kind of does that. And you could tell it's kind of more contrasty than the actual photo. That's how this stuff normally turns out. It turns out to be a little more contrasty, but you could tell who it is by the end. You can't tell it's me right now, especially since I don't wear glasses most of the time, but whose fault is that really? That's mine. And we got this little bright little round spot right here on my nose that sort of travels down. It goes all the way over to here. Yeah. And then we got shade over here coming off of that. And we got that. We got this weird shape. And we got this weird shape just surrounding my mustache. And you could get even more abstract and take your eraser, go into like, just get the little mustache hairs like that. And trust me, if you build them up enough like that, you could tell it's gonna be mustache hair later on. If you build it up with sort of things like that. But yeah, I see a sort of error I made. This is kind of nebulous. It's not building a shape, it's sort of fading out. So let's see what defines it. What defines it is the glass resting along there and then creating this shadow. So we're going to just do this. Do that right there. And then we're going to go in with our brush. And our brush is going to just create the glasses right there. And we're going to come up here and create the... I haven't been wearing glasses for so long, I'm not sure what that's called. The ridge, I guess, maybe? It goes along the ridge of the nose, so maybe it's the ridge. There we go. And this, let's define it a little better. Yeah, I think that's good. We got the mustache going. And if you want to get like harsher, I know I said you don't have to or you shouldn't, but you could do this. You could go in, zoom all the way in. I got my nostril there. And I know a highlight goes right there. Right? And a highlight comes around here. A highlight's on there. And I know a shadow where my nostril goes into my head pretty much is right there. So we're just going to look at the other side and see what we could do there. my nostril here is more of like a triangle, so I can do that. Then take the eraser, and this has a highlight that goes just right there and right there. Let's zoom back. It looks kind of odd, but what do we say? As long as we're working in thinner kind of layers, we can always go over it with some other thin layers and blend it in. You don't have to use the blend tool that Photoshop provides to you. You could always just blend it the way that comes natural to you. And there we go. There's a fucking nose. Jesus. We got a fucking portrait coming here. So I'm going to go down to the mouth and work on the mouth. You always got to work the mouth, guys. So let's see. What do we got here? Let's put the opacity. I'm never going to say that right. Let's just put that at... What's going on? My screen just flickered. I hope the recording didn't catch that. So we got this for the top lip. And then we got the bottom lip catching all this light right here. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My headset died. I've been recording a lot of gameplay lately, and it's only got a 10-hour battery life, really, so I did like 3 hours of Batman and half an hour of an indie game and then another indie game, and it's just, it kind of adds up, so you gotta charge after a while. But we left off on the lips, and I was showing you how the bottom lip right here catches a bunch of light. If my mustache wasn't there, it would be my top lip, because the top lip naturally catches more light than the bottom lip in most circumstances, in almost all circumstances. But yeah, so I'm just going to go around and create this sort of border for my lips. That border is more for me. It's not really there. I mean, there is a thin sort of light there that separates it from this hair, which, let's just go ahead and lay that hair in right now. That hair goes all the way to here. That beard hair. And we're just going to go a little bit darker here just so that it doesn't take quite as long. And we got more hair right here. So there you go. And then, you know, while I'm on that kind of opacity, I think is how it's said. Okay. Jesus, I'm sounding like an idiot. I'm just going to go in and create that sort of partition in my lips, and then I'm going to do the mustache hair that lays over it. So that's that. And then goes all the way up here. And then does that. And there's some over there. And some right here. What did I say about gang attached to lines? We can't do it. So we're going to fill in the mustache where we see the mustache happening. And for this I am just going to go straight black. A smaller kind of brush and just overlay it. There we go. And you know what I'm noticing? You guys probably noticed this too because you guys are observant as well. These lines don't match up. So I'm just going to black them out, go here, get my little bit bigger eraser, and do that, and just see if I can find what I did There we go. And look at that, it connects to the nose in almost a way that it should. Who would have thought? I almost look like I know what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna go back to the light and get that, because that doesn't look natural. There. And there we go. There's a mustache guy with lips. And you know, the lips look like they're resting kind of too low. So here's where Photoshop comes in. I could just do that and just move the whole thing up. How hard is that? Because this isn't a solid layer, it's not really letting me do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just merge this layer down with the background layer. And now I can do it. So I do that, and then just pop that up there. Let's see if it gave me a scrunched look or a regular look. Let's go back and take a look. Okay, now I can tell that my face is kind of too scrunched up. So what I will do is just move it up right there. That looks about right to me, doesn't it, to you guys? And once again, what did I tell you about the beauty of working with Photoshop here? I can just take that, transform it here. That looks close to the same size. And I can just compare it. Are my lips around this? There's my eye. My nose is... Okay, the portrait is too small on there. So let's just go like that. There we go. So let's see, where do my lips fall here? So my lips are too short on there, but we're not going to really worry about it. This is more of a demonstration than anything. So let's just do that. And now we got this white bar on the bottom here. How do we fix that white bar? Just go in with the thing and just do it black. Because what does it matter? It doesn't matter if we're using the eraser tool to get our gradients here. So just a black smudge won't matter. So we do that. Do that just to get the heart lines out of there. And then we start again on the lips. So let's zoom in. I accidentally put a brush mark on there. There we go. Now let's get our eraser tool for our black and white project and go in here. And lips are rounded, that's why I'm pretty much doing circles on them. There we go. And then let's... You know, I'm realizing I might have missed... Fuck! That was the wrong item. Lucky I caught it. I'm realizing I might have made a mistake. I think I said lips, the top lip catches the most light. It doesn't. It catches the most shadows. That's what I meant to say. It catches the most shadows normally. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just shadow it up. And that highlight needs to be a little bit lower. So we're just going to go over it with our shadow and sort of fill it in. And now that the highlight can be lower, we'll just put that there. And we're getting it done slowly but surely. We ran into a few problems there, but I'm not fucking phased. You guys shouldn't be phased. It's not that big of a deal. Like I said, it's just random shapes on the computer. There we go. There. And let's just do that across there. That way that gives us the opportunity to come in here and fix it all. See how easy it is to fix? It's a lot easier to fix than most would think. And look at that. When I just zoomed out there to see the fix, the lips are taking shape, man. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of darks and it should be done. It should really be done. We got a little bit of darks that come in through here. We got lips or darks coming off from the center of the lip. And there we go, guys. That is how you do lips. Just round out this nice little area. Fuck. Did not mean to go that far into there. I'm not saying fuck because I'm stressed out. I'm saying fuck just because it's a normal thing for me to say. I have that normal reaction. There we go. And let's zoom out. Does that not make sense as a face, guys? Really? And if you wanted to fucking cheatsy doodle it, you could probably just take this. You can probably copy it and then let's see if I can paste it and then flip it horizontal. And then I could, of course you shouldn't do this because the lighting on this eye is different, but I mean, just to give you a little bit of an idea of what this portrait is going to turn out to look like. Look at that. Let's get the eye a bit farther away. There we go. Not that hard at all. I'm realizing my mouth is a little over to the side, but what did I say before? Just move it. There you go. Not fucking difficult, guys. Oh, but you moved it. How do you fix it, Kyle? How do you fix it? Fix it. It's easy. I told ya. Just put the black up there. And we'll just fill this in. Fill in all the harsh lines. It's certainly not the end of the world. We will repair them. We fucking did all this before. We can do it again, guys. It's not the end of the world. Certainly not a reason to give up on what you're doing. There we go. So now we got that black box around there, but what do we do? Again, what do? We just put it on a little opacity, take our brush, and just go back in. Just go back in. This looks like it needs doing, so we just do that. This looks like it needs doing, so we just do that. This part we didn't even get to, so that's a little bit easier. This part is around the nose, so we know that that's a little bit lighter, right? And there we go. We got our fucking little goatee that we got here. It's honestly, everything is fixable. Every single thing. And I don't like how I did this, so I'm just going to go over it with the brush instead of the eraser. I can't keep on repeating myself how easy this is to do, guys. You guys should at least try it. If you think I'm lying, you guys will be so surprised at how easy it is. There we go. See? Zoomed out, no fucking big deal. That eye kind of does look stupid since I did change it around. But there you go, guys. That's my first art sort of how-to. I'm Dead English. If you want more of these kind of videos as opposed to gameplay, make sure you comment and like it and let me know what you think about it. Because this is a lot easier for me to do than yell through a video game. I'll tell you that right now. I got the strokes playing in my headphones and I just got to talk out what I'm doing. It's so easy. So I'll cut the video there.